Welcome to the Story Tinker podcast, a place for in-depth analysis of stories, mainly from Webtoon. Co-hosted by sharp, witty, and dare I say, thirsty fans, we dive deep in every episode, analyzing character struggles, relationship development, and of course, theories. We also interview people working in creative industries. You can follow the Story Tinker on YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media. For bonus content, sneak peeks, and more, you can support the Story Tinker on Patreon. We're really appreciative of your likes, subscribes, follows, comments, and ratings on all platforms. Thanks for listening to the Story Tinker, and let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 92 of Midnight Poppyland. We are back after a month hiatus, so we are all excited to talk about this episode. And as we say, it is the longest night in history.
Yeah,
the most eventful night, and it's not over yet. There's lots more happening.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, Veronica, take it away.
Alrighty, so we start with where they had left off, and Tora is teasing Poppy, calling her a crybaby. And she's like, "So what if I am? Sue me." And he's like, "Why sue you when I can chomp on your pudgy little fingers?" Faces. She's like, "Yeah, don't you dare." He's like, "Tempting me, huh? On the count of 4, 2. I love that he went from 4 to 2, by the way.
I know.
Wow. That little twerp.
And she's like, that's just another pickup artist trick. And he's like, "Pick up what?" Like I love this face. I love this face.
It's one of the best Tora faces.
It's one of the best faces because he really did that face very well.
Yeah, totally convincing. I don't know what you're talking about. I am totally clueless and innocent.
I haven't heard that term in such a long time though, too. I remember I was like a teenager when I first found about pickup artists, and I was horrified.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I thought we're all just out here trying to date like idiots.
Yeah. And then she's like, never mind. God, this man is too innocent for words. And there he is, just kidding. And then that sultry ass side look with his blush mixed in with his little bit of tipsiness. I wrote that book to lure you into my embrace, sweetheart.
Right. I feel like the effect is ruined by the hick. You know, he's all slick.
It's like you're not so smooth after that. Like you can't possibly say smooth after that.
Yeah.
And he's like king of pickup artists.
Yeah, I can very much see him being the king of pickup artists when he wants to be.
Yeah. Were you surprised at all by him being like tipsy or like agreeing to drink?
Yes, because it was made to be like a big deal that he doesn't drink. So I was surprised that he did drink. Yeah.
Actually, to me, I think that says a lot about how comfortable he is around Poppy to drink. Because I always thought that like he didn't drink because he wanted to always stay in control, but maybe it's just he didn't drink around like the clan because he needed to always keep a certain amount of awareness around him at all times. But when he's with Poppy, he doesn't feel the need to. And so he can just like let loose and have a beer.
Yeah, I just feel like she's not the issue.
Yeah, like Poppy's his safe space for him to feel comfortable enough to actually like be tipsy around.
Yeah. What I was more surprised by is like in the context again of the endless day. Like he spent all day hunting down Gil because he felt, I mean, the reason he kind of like zoned out and yelled at Poppy was because he realized like I've not gotten anywhere. I'm not able to protect her yet because I don't know where Gil is at. So he spent all day trying to like find him, you know, had the panic attack and everything. And then Poppy was actually attacked, somebody broke in.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just very surprised by the fact that he is letting his guard down at all while they're outside. Like if this was in his apartment, it might be different. But I mean, they're literally in like a public playground. And this comes into play later. I think it's not very obscured at all. It's not like there's like bushes and trees around. Like it's very almost on a pedestal. Like it's very visible.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember last time if I think Poppy was the one to suggest they go outside. Let me see. You want to go for a walk? Oh no, he asked her to go for a walk.
Yeah, I thought that he asked her.
Yeah, but it could also be he asked her because he knew she was anxious. I don't know.
Yeah, she did suggest the beers though.
Yeah. I mean, he's about to, if he had a super stressful day, and now he's about to like have a very super stressful conversation. So I can see how he would want a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to just help decompress a little and just kind of chill out enough to get some of that anxiety out of you so you can like keep moving forward with what you need to do still that night.
Tell her how you feel, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Alrighty, and then we go on to her saying, "Quit teasing." And I love this giant ass laugh he makes.
Yeah.
He's like, just kidding. I have no idea what it means, honestly. And her face. Yeah. She's just
Poppy.
like,
she's not
like
impressed.
the way she did that face so fast too. She's like,
yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't believe him anymore.
But it's so nice because I mean, when have we ever seen him actually laugh? You know, not the like little
that.
smirk, like head thrown back, you know, like a proper
giant mouth.
Giant mouth. Yeah.
And he looks blissful. I mean, look at his eyes too.
No, he's definitely in a happy place at this moment.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
If we didn't know what was coming. It's so sad.
Yep. This is definitely the most eventful. I mean, the mood swings that both of them had on this day. Like,
I know.
You know, after a dramatic fight with my husband, oh my God, I am so emotionally worn out. It's like, and I'm so physically tired also. So I,
Oh, wait.
I don't know if I'd be able to be all jolly after a big fight like that.
Did I lose you or are you gone?
Oh, I hear myself. Yeah, and I guess Veronica, you can continue.
And then she's like, "You were also just kidding when you said you've never held hands before, weren't you? Acting all innocent, so I'll let my guard down." And he's like, "Come back, sweetheart. I swear it was the truth." And that's when you can see for the first time that he tied her up. Like, when did he even do that? Like, when did they even have that physical contact like that?
He is sneaky.
So sneaky. It's like, it was just hilarious. And then he's like, but not anymore because I lost my hand virginity to, she's like, I'm coming back now.
Hand virginity, that is so cute. Yeah. Such a nice concept.
He's like, but really, I swear. And she's like, you can reflect on your actions and words when you're sober. And then I love that he called her Miss Poppy. He's like, wait, Miss Poppy, I still have some shit to tell you.
Yeah, the stuff that still has not gotten to be said.
No, like all the serious shit they still haven't spoken about.
Yeah.
She says, and would you quit tying me up without my consent? And don't Miss Poppy me. I can totally see if she was able to put her finger up, she would have put her finger up and would have been like, and don't Miss Poppy me.
I think she did it inside of the tied up sleeve. She was like,
yeah, she definitely was doing it inside the sleeve, like that. Don't Miss Poppy me.
Also, did you notice she said, "Don't tie me up without my consent"? She didn't say, "Don't tie me up," period.
I know.
Yeah.
Lily did that one for us for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, Tora picked up on that, and he's like, "Okay, next time I'll ask first." He's like, "Excuse me, there won't be a next time." It's like, "You promise you won't run away until I'm done with what I gotta tell you?" And then she asks, "Is that why you're drinking? For liquid courage?"
Ooh, there we have our answer. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah. And I'd rather be jumping off a plane, to be honest." And then, but don't.
Yeah. If I was in that playhouse with him, that line, and like, I feel like he's, they're like laughing and he's teasing her, and then suddenly he gets like, I imagine that he's like very serious and the voice is like low, and you're just like, oh, it's getting real, but it's still not like a bad type of serious.
Yeah, but the huskiness is coming out.
Yeah.
Yep. So I forgot, Shirin, are we doing, am I doing 2 or are you doing 2? Forgot.
Oh, I don't mind. If you want, you can.
Okay. So suddenly, he's grabbed her. She got untied, grabs her around the waist and says, "What's wrong? Why do you go so quiet?" "Nothing." She wants to deny the effect. And she says, "I was just wondering why you were keeping a distance from me all night." "What? Was it that obvious?" "Kinda. Not that I'm dying for physical contact or anything, but," and she's blushing, "I wouldn't object to a little bit right now." Which I have to say, kudos to her for having the courage to voice her needs.
Yeah.
Because it's not so comfortable, especially when you first start out in a relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be able to say what you want.
But
Like,
she's always been very bold.
Yeah.
Like, she kissed him first.
Oh, that's right.
And
So
honestly,
their very first kiss was because she pulled him in and grabbed him and kissed him. He just wanted to kiss right here.
I mean, before you're ready to even admit it to somebody else, like, you first have to admit it to yourself.
Right.
And I think her packing that, like, sexy lingerie was kind of maybe a signal to herself, like, hey, this is kind of what you need. But for example, when they were still on the balcony and he was like stroking her leg, she was not having it, So it's kind of understandable for him as well. I mean, with the night they had and with the day they had and the fight, that he would be keeping a distance.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine that he's also trying really, really hard to like not mess up.
Yeah.
Because of everything that has happened, the last thing he wants to do is just like jump her bones because she's staying at his house.
Yeah.
So, and she wants it, and now they have a moment staring into each other's eyes intently. Tora is super, super red. And he's like,
so red. He's more red than Poppy. That never happens. He's never more red than Poppy.
It's so cute.
So cute.
New drinker. Like, why didn't you effing say so? And then their lips graze. And he says, "I swear I wasn't planning to do any of this." And she's holding his finger, really, really sweet. She's like, as if that's something you'll admit. It's like, at least not tonight. So yes, he wanted to do some stuff. He just didn't think about it tonight.
By the way, these angles, right, of his face and these panels, this kind of like from the top, that's so difficult. Like, he looks amazing. I'm almost upset with Tora for how handsome he is all the time.
Yep.
Even when only half his face is showing.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because sometimes I know when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, it's unrealistic how handsome they are. And I actually do know one person, my uncle by marriage, who is spectacularly gorgeous all the time. And it's been like 20 years since I know him, and he's still spectacularly gorgeous. And like we go there all the time. We're pretty close with the family. So like tired, age, whatever. So it happens.
Yeah.
Some people are lucky like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I know anyone that's spectacularly gorgeous, like otherworldly almost. No, everyone I know is like realistically pretty.
Yeah.
You look like a humanly pretty, terrestrial pretty.
Yeah. Not just like godly pretty, but just like, no, you're very attractive.
Yeah.
For a normal human.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, I had a client once when I was a hairdresser. I felt so bad for her. She was young. She was a teenager. And her first cousin is Adam Levine.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's so unfortunate because everyone thinks he's hot and they probably tell you all the time. Yeah, high schooler.
Like,
She told me once, like, she would have to go to like his house in LA for like Thanksgiving, and then he's there with his supermodel girlfriends, and she's just like feeling really normal looking. Like, that's just like, that's so unfortunate. That's not someone I would want as a first cousin.
You know, it's interesting because we just went to a friend, and turns out her husband's brothers are singers that were pretty well known for a certain amount of time, like in the 2000s. And she said it was very hard to be in their shadow. Like the family was focused on them and tried to promote them and their music. And yeah, she said it was like they weren't special like that, you know? So
yeah.
I didn't think about like the siblings. What?
Is she married to Nick Jonas?
No. She's married. Her husband's brothers were the ones that were musicians. So yeah, it was just interesting to hear that perspective. Yeah, like I often think about how hard it must be for the celebrities themselves, because people are always tagging them and annoying them and they have no privacy. But I didn't think about like their families, you know, their extended families.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I think for at least like the social media stuff, I think a lot of them have just assistants, you know, running it, and then have like private accounts that they share with their friends and family.
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you know, people hounding you on the street or something. I always say if I ever met a celebrity like on a regular day, like at the grocery, I would just ignore them because I don't want to bother them.
Yeah.
I somehow have managed, and I don't know, maybe it's because of where I live, since I live in the capital, but I've run into like a fair amount of celebrities. It's just random. Like, I met Matthew Morrison from Glee once. That was awkward as fuck.
Why?
That's the teacher?
Yeah. That was awkward as fuck. It was so awkward. It was at this nightclub, this lounge that I frequented for a long time. It was one of my favorite places. And he went there after something at the White House, and it was just an awkward encounter. He grabbed the back of my hair like this because I think he thought that was appropriate.
Oh boy. Okay then.
I was like, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate. And so after that, I was just like, I'm just gonna go because that's weird.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. Because I was just like, I think he thought he can do that because he's a celebrity, and I don't know. And then my friend who used to be a backup dancer for the Black Eyed Peas, needed me to get him backstage for an after party show that they were hosting at a small music venue. And I was asking, and my friend was like, get me backstage. And I'm like, I'm just general admission. How am I supposed to get you backstage? Why don't you just pay the $20 to come inside? And he was refusing to. And so I saw someone that I knew that was working at that nightclub. And I was like, if I wanted to meet the artist, what's my best bet? And he's like, just go up to the dressing room. I was like, someone can just do that?
That seems not insecure.
So I went, and so, you know, the tall one with the dark hair, the Hispanic guy, Taboo?
No.
So anyways, I run up to him and I'm just like, yo, my friend Sunny needs you to get him inside.
What?
I didn't introduce myself. Here's this major, like, recording artist, super famous, all that stuff. And I'm just like, I need you to do something for me.
Instead of your friend paying $20, like you should.
Yeah. And he was like, who? And I was just like, oh, Ghost, because he went by his dancer name. And he's like, oh. And he grabs my hand and takes me to his manager. And his manager takes me out through the dressing room to the back door. And then Sunny comes up.
Oh. Huh.
And I'm just like, you know, I did all that for you. I did all that. I went and pretty much demanded a celebrity to get you backstage.
Very impressive, Veronica.
So I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And like, I didn't, you know, I'm not someone that fawns over celebrities because I just view them as normal people.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably just like having normal lives.
Yep.
So, but that was probably my funniest encounter with a celebrity.
That is funny. Well, I'm impressed that he listened to you.
Yeah.
Being like, who are you? What do you want from me?
The fact that he just grabbed my hand and was like, okay, let's go get your friend. Like, what? Who does that?
A normal person, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, he was really nice and very chill. I mean, he helped me, a complete stranger that didn't even say hello.
Yeah.
That was so rude.
Nice. So anyway, Tora asks her, so how did I do? And she's like, oh, wait, sorry. We said that 5 minutes pretty honest with you. And he's like, told you I'm always honest. Always, almost always. Haha, they're just having a really good time. And she has now seated herself on his lap. And it's a really cute position. And he's like, unlike some people with their stumpy little fingers crossed behind their backs, which he noticed all the way back in like episode 56 or something, right? I think that's what he's referring to at the party for her birthday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, nothing slips by his notice.
He does like to comment on her fingers.
Yeah. They are just little.
He's calling her pudgy, he's calling her stumpy, like dude.
Rude. And if my husband ever says this stuff to me, he gets an automatic slap. Sorry. He's like, who? Surely it isn't me. How does he notice these things? And then he asks her, ever sat like this on any guy before? Does it matter? He says, not really. And he moves in to kiss her again, getting very sexy. He says, I just got to remind myself to keep it dialed down a notch. And he's kissing or licking her neck, and she's shivering. And she's like, if this is dialed down, and what's it like at full force?
Like, why are you setting yourself up?
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. She's asking for it. Basically.
She is setting herself up to figure out what full force is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the worst change, I think, because this was also my favorite part. I think I love it when they're being like really flirty, and this is overtly sexual.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just such a big moment for them. And then you scroll down and then you get the fucking mood change and you get the like green tint, and it's just awful.
Yep.
No, it's jarring. It was so jarring. It's like you just didn't, it came out of fucking nowhere. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nothing led up to that. Not a single thing.
We thought, you know, or I thought what was waiting for us for the rest of the night was, first of all, that it would end. Second of all, that they would like either just pass out tired, or, you know, I mean, why show us the lingerie, Lily, if we're not gonna use it? Like...
Yep, me too. I thought they were gonna head back home and have some sexy times.
Yeah, or just sleep.
Right.
I mean, I imagine like cuddle time in bed.
Yeah.
Is what I'm imagining. Nothing like too heavy.
Yeah. Not like super sexual, but like tender and still intimate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the night has not ended. For all we know. Next episode.
Well, now let's hope that at the end of this one, they are finally going to make it back to the apartment and go to sleep.
Yeah, make it back to the apartment is a good start because we don't know.
I would love for them to make it back to the apartment next episode.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so the mood change. We suddenly see everything in different colors. It's not warm, it's not, you know, sweet rosy tones anymore. It's like yellow tones. And suddenly, you know, Tora has this, it's Tora's perspective again in his laser eyes. He's suddenly grumpy looking and looking at the side of his eye. And she's like, Tora. And who do we see there? Emily's favorite person, but our hated person. Vincent Balthuman.
Oh my gosh,
guess
I'm
it was him as
having
soon as
so
you
many
saw
sexy
his-
thoughts of him because of these next few panels. I can just see Emily going crazy.
Right. Her favorite character back again. So yeah, we see a guy with pants next to a fancy car, and then we see a whole bunch of people. There's a white car, a black car, another black car. We see a guy in a brown suit and 1, 2, 3, 4 people in black suits, and standing there. And then we finally get a close up. Vincent Balthuman with Shark and 2 other anonymous people behind him, and then more 2 people, so there's like 5 people there. How did he find him? Well, I guess he knows where he lives. It's right nearby, right? 'Cause it looks like that apartment is literally right there.
Yeah,
Or
right.
could he has like, I don't know. Do you think he has people tailing him all the time? No. No?
I don't know. I had hoped that he didn't know where he lived, but I guess he does.
Yeah. I think if Tora had people tailing him, A, he would know.
That's true.
And B, he would never lead them to Poppy.
Right.
No, that's true.
So I don't think he has people tailing him all the time. How Vincent found him, who even knows? I mean, Vincent, is this the kind of look you want? Like showing up to a playground at, I don't know what time it is, 3 a.m., 7 a.m., midnight? I don't know. Like, you look so out of place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if he really thinks that he has Tora so under control, like why are they showing up with so many people? Why?
Weird, right? He didn't even call him.
Exactly.
No, I think he knows that he doesn't have
Arrest him.
Tora under control. That's why he surprised him like that. Because if he had called Tora probably would have because Tora has a tendency to just straight ignore Vincent. We've seen that before.
But how
Where
bad must
he-
it be?
Where he, it was the same night that they went to, where he was supposed to shoot the 9 Dagger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could see all the missed text messages and things along those lines and calls. He's just like, nope, not dealing with this fucker. So he probably knows that, when Tora checks out, he checks out.
But I mean,
And
it has
he
to be bad
didn't
enough.
to give him that chance. So he just showed up.
Yeah.
So
it
I
has
don't
to
think
be
his
bad
intention
enough.
were to go straight to the park. But
Well,
probably to his house.
The last panel shows us that something big did happen, so I guess Vincent felt he needed to talk to Tora personally.
Yeah, but I'm
Mhm.
wondering what the implications are of that. Like, why is that arrest so important that he needs to have Tora ASAP? Because Tora is not one he talks strategy with, from what I gather so far. Right?
Right.
Tora's not a person that he's going to be like, oh, they caught him. This could incriminate us. Like, if they can get the leader from there, maybe we're also at risk. This is assuming that that the leader was apprehended by the police, since it's like an official thing and not by another clan. So, I'm just wondering, like, what are the implications of it, that it's so important that Vincent has to go himself with his men to get Tora.
Middle of the night.
Exactly. And them running away, I mean, we have to talk about this at the end, but them running away, if it was this important, that can't be the end of it. Like,
Right.
I just don't see any scenario in which they're just going home to cuddle and sleep right now.
Oh dear.
Unless someone's like, we're going home now. So, because I can see someone just being like, darling, we're going home.
I guess let's discuss it when we get to the end. So let's move through it. So Vincent's like, there you are. The boys and I were looking all over for you. He's gone out, and Poppy's still behind the wooden thingamajig. He's like, who's that you got hiding up there, son? She's like, Badum. He's like, some hooker. which of course he did to protect her because he doesn't want anyone thinking she's something serious. But she's like, ah! And then he's taken out his cigarette already, obviously, being all anxious. He's like, didn't hear your call. And then he's like, I didn't. And, oh yeah, sorry, Sharon, you're taking over.
I think there's still a lot to go. So if you want to go for a bit longer.
Okay. He says, I want you to make sure I have your full attention tonight. And now there's like so many more men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men there. You're like, let's talk to my car, son. Shark, keep watch outside. Yes, sir. And by the way, yeah, for middle of the night, he's like super dressed. They're all super dressed. And yeah.
Well,
totally.
Vincent doesn't go out looking his absolute best. And we know that he requires his men to wear their suits.
Exactly. No.
Like the ones that around him, they have to wear suits.
Yeah.
No matter the time. Plus, they all probably work night anyways. I mean, they're gangsters. They don't sleep at night, do they? Isn't that when they're going out like doing all the bad stuff?
Never been a gangster. No.
Never been a gangster. So.
I mean, these are gangsters pretending kind of to the outside world that they're not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anywho, and suddenly we see a blue car. And should I let you introduce this wonderful person?
Okay. It is a blue car, sports car. I know nothing about cars. I couldn't tell you what this is. But it is loud, clearly. And someone says, who the hell's that? Hey, get out of here. Like, so they're kind of yelling at the car. And the suspense is building. We still see the car. All the guys are looking at it. And then they react. And one is like, oh, fuck. And another one goes, apologies, madame. We didn't know it was you. We're really sorry. We won't do it again. So already we know this must be someone like really important.
Okay, I have a question. How did they not know what her car looked like?
Right. I was thinking the same thing. Unless this lady gets new cars a lot.
See, I just bought a new one because someone didn't pick her up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like Quincy bought a new car, remember? Because Tora didn't pick him up. So like maybe like mother, like son.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Maybe that's where Quincy got it from. He's like, well, I'm just gonna buy a car.
Yeah. I mean, immediately, like everyone's like welcoming her, calling her madame.
You can feel the tension in the guys build up.
Yeah.
They didn't have that at first, but they were just surrounding Vincent. But now it's like you can feel that they got nervous.
Yeah, and they're all turned towards her.
Yeah. And yeah. It's like he has a very commanding power.
Yeah.
To her.
I mean, she, like the first panel we see of her, she's literally glowing.
Yes.
And
looking all good.
Yeah, she's like, good evening, gentlemen. May I have a word in private with my husband, please?
And you can tell that for some reason she's speaking with the most posh accent of some kind.
Yeah.
That's what you're just feeling that's what she's doing. That she has that very posh accent.
Yeah, she is the person in an American movie who's inexplicably British.
Yeah.
Yes. Now you know what American
Yeah, she just has the British accent.
Yeah,
and she too is dressed in the nines in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but Vincent doesn't immediately come to heel. He's like, 𝗀𝗲, how the hell did you find me here?
No, look at his face. He's like, huh? That is not the face of someone that's happy to see his wife.
Yeah, no, he was hoping for sexy time with Emily. Like, he was not hoping for 𝗀𝗲 to show up.
No, he was really looking forward with time with Emily, like some private time with her.
Yeah, he was just
just
wanting Tora to vacate that playhouse so we can move it.
I write the fanfic now.
Yeah.
And then he says, is this about not picking you up at the airport today?
No, it is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Isn't it the middle of the night? And she shows up and he's like, oh, are you here at 3 a.m. because I didn't catch you from the airport?
Also, he's supposed to pick her up from the airport. Doesn't he have like a billion chauffeurs for that?
Yeah, maybe
he even set up a billion chauffeurs for her.
Yeah, maybe he sent a chauffeur and she was like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, I feel like that's what she would do.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks.
Yeah. She's like, it's lovely to see you too, darling. After 2 whole weeks, might I add. Does her braid stand out to anyone? I feel like that's a very interesting choice for this type of lady.
I like it. I love braids. I think it looks pretty. I mean, I noted it because I thought it looked really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
just
super
want a
cool.
braid just to keep her hair out of her place, out of her face.
Yeah.
My hair's in a braid.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
No, I was just surprised because, I mean, this is obviously like the type of woman we've seen before, like not in the story, but I mean, it's like a trope you've seen before. But braid, like this kind of braid, was just unexpected for me.
Because it has a youthful kind of appeal to it?
Sorry?
Because it has a youthful kind of appeal?
Yeah, because it's youthful, and I think also because it feels a bit more like, I feel like braids often communicate either that they're like casual or, you know, they're often used on warriors and stuff like that. And I feel like this type of woman that's very put together, rich, garners a lot of respect. Normally in media, you see them either with like a twist or with like perfectly straightened or like perfectly curled hair. So I was surprised, A, by how long it is, and B, by the braid. And I think it just really stood out to me, especially also because the only other person we've seen with braided hair in this comic is Poppy. Bring in the conspiracy theories. Yeah, she's making a big show out of it. I've missed you so much, as I'm sure you've missed me, like the perfect husband you are. Like,
God.
Yeah, of course I have.
There's a lot of water under the bridge there.
I must tell Mother. So, another character. She would be very pleased to let the clan elders know what a wonderful husband and son-in-law you are.
So, yeah, it seems like her clan is more powerful than Vincent's clan, and Vincent is like, needs to suck up to them, especially her mom.
That's definitely what this is implying.
Yeah.
You know, like, she has the upper hand, even if he's the one that's the face of the clan.
Yeah.
And the leader, but she is above him.
Yeah.
It's just unofficial. Like, you can feel it with how all the guys just instantly were like, oh my God.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting too, because when she first comes in, Vincent is like, oh, what are you doing here? And then she starts putting on a bit of a show and he kind of falls into it. And also, because it was confirmed, right, that she's the same woman as from the beginning when Tora comes in with bloody guys. Because the dynamic in that scene was completely different between them.
Right. Well, she was very confident there, but so was he. Like, here he's very nervous.
Yeah. He says,
when you first saw her in the first season, the beginning of the first season, you don't really know who she is. She just kind of stands there more or less looking like a side piece, like a trophy. And so you don't think she's anyone particularly significant until this. And then you're like, damn.
Yeah, I did not think that was Vincent's wife.
Yeah.
Or if it was, that she had nothing to say.
Yeah, I'm glad to see her. She seems like a cool person. I'm looking forward, especially given what she does.
I know. I've noticed in the comments that everyone is very like pro Goa and like emancipation, and she's amazing. But I'm so wary. I'm like, we don't know her. She said like 5 sentences. I'm so scared. Like, is she good? Like, for our protagonists, you know, and for what we want to happen? It's so tricky. So I'm
tells me that she's the one that probably always like baby Quincy.
Yes.
And gave Quincy whatever he wanted and helped him become the fabulous man that he is.
Yeah.
My baby. How do I?
Yeah, they have this thing with buy cars when people don't pick them up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it would make sense.
Yeah.
He also looks like her. Now that we see, you know, well, he looks like his dad too, but
Yeah, he looks a lot like his dad for sure.
yeah.
Well, they
Yes,
also
I'm recovering.
look like they're like Ken and Barbie. They're just older Ken and Barbie is what they look like. So.
Yep.
But basically, he says, "I do appreciate if she does about her mother putting in a word with the clan elders."
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, "I will certainly make sure of it. Now, would you tell me about that award you received last week, darling? Well, if you must know." I'm like, what reward?
And then you can see these men filing out.
Mm-hmm. Remember, I think Quincy mentioned it. His dad got an award for some philanthropy or whatever. Something.
Actually, I don't remember.
Because it's like, "Oh, honey, you won the soccer tournament. I'm so proud. Good job, darling. I put it up here with your other medals." But yeah, you're right. The guys kind of start walking away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter what Vincent wants now.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't.
I mean, the next panel, I thought this was just him like talking, but it does look like he's like, "Dudes, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Don't leaving me. Don't leave me.
Yeah.
He's
So this
intimidated.
panel, right? The next one where they're not saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one we see kind of her, I think, where she's really close up.
Yeah.
What do you think about people saying she looks like Poppy?
Yeah, I think she looks like Poppy.
But does she look like Poppy, or is it because, you know, in some comics, a lot of people have the same facial structure anyway?
Same face syndrome.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought my first thought was like, okay, she's just a woman, you know, but I do think Lily does put care into her character design, and she does have people looking distinct. So I'm willing to 50-50 bet that maybe it's on purpose.
Yeah. Either to throw us off or because there is something. Because I would love to see Erdine in this kind of angle to compare.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is basically Poppy's face.
Right. Yeah. The lips are a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's theories that Poppy and, you know, her are half brothers and sisters. Like we've, you know, mentioned that before. So I'm willing to entertain that.
Yeah. I mean, I also could think that maybe that woman, the mother that left her, was not her real mother. But maybe she went out. Maybe she was like a fake mom. And that's why she left. I'm sorry. I'm coming real hard with the conspiracy theories tonight.
Maybe they're not directly half brothers and sisters. Maybe they're like cousins. So like there's a family resemblance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into the theories at the end. So Poppy has been spying out, which Poppy is not smart. Literally, you know he's in the mafia. Just keep hidden away.
Yes.
It's like, crap, she saw me. And then Goa like waves at them. And Poppy is as confused as I am. She's like, huh? And then she goes, "Tora, that lady signaled." And her head is literally poking through the wood. Like, I'm sorry, anyone telling me that the guys did not see her? Bullshit.
And how she's gonna get her head pulled back.
Oh, was that Jimmy Fallon? Have you seen that bit where he talks about getting his head stuck in the fence?
Oh
and
no.
his grandma got him out using lots of mayonnaise, so he can't have mayonnaise.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm already getting anxious thinking about it.
And then Tora says, I saw. Why does he say is he shushing her?
Yeah, he's shushing her.
If he is,
they're whispering.
He ignores it.
Anyway, his mom looks gorgeous, I just have to say. She's just stunning.
I
That
also
dress and like the little, she's
saw
beautiful.
that
Tora, that Poppy is patting his head.
That's so funny.
Pay attention to me.
That's cute.
I can't believe she just played the poor chump like a fiddle. But if
Poor
that's
chump.
boss and the lady's his wife, then is she? Yeah, that's Quincy's old lady, his ma.
I'm so intrigued.
So young.
I know. I'm so like curious, mainly because yes, I love Quincy and I want to know more about like, yeah, who raised him? Like you said that we think it's probably more her. Yeah, I'd love to know that. You know, what's she like? What's she about? What are her morals and values?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Botox, sweetheart, copious amounts of Botox.
Yeah, that's true. And a lot of facial treatments.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of body treatments.
Absolutely.
Like just a lot of not being real.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of her is plastic.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's wrong with being plastic if that's what you want.
Exactly. Barbie is 100%. So they're running away. This is my biggest gripe with this episode, guys. And he said,
First off,
huh?
she's running in front of her, so then she's in full view from behind.
Yeah. And you
She's
can
not being
literally,
hidden.
you can literally see,
Obscured from Vincent's view. She's literally
yeah, but like, I mean, look at where Vincent and Goa are standing. They're like what, 3 meters away from the playhouse. Vincent is always facing the playhouse.
Yeah.
No way in hell is he not seeing Tora booking it. Like it doesn't matter that Poppy is there. He came with a bunch of guys to find Tora, and then Tora is just fucking off at full speed.
Yeah.
Like that there's no way this is going without repercussion.
Well, unless Tora knows that whenever Mrs. Balthuman demands the attention of her husband, that's it. Like she has his attention for 5 hours and there's nothing he can do to stop it.
But I mean, is it actually that he's enraptured with her and he doesn't notice anything else? Or is it that he's like, yeah, I don't have a choice but to pay attention, but I still notice you running away, Tora. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Vincent as a villain so far has been really good. And I have found him insanely scary. Like, because it's so realistic, right? There's no magic here. This is just a dude that has abused Tora his entire life and has such a strong grip on him and his like mind as well, and his entire life, you know. It's this really imposing villain ever.
But I think Vincent knows that he's losing his grasp on Tora. I feel like one of the reasons why he just showed up like that is to flex his power.
Yeah,
I agree.
No other reason. It's just to flex his power because he knows Tora's not someone he can control forever, but he's trying to.
Yep, agree.
I was also wondering if he was hoping to get Poppy, like if he knows about her, because it's like, let's go talk in my car. And when he said like shark right outside, I got scared. I was like, oh, shark's about to
the shark just like, and he's just there. And
well, that could lead us to a whole conspiracy theory, because remember Poppy mentioned and never followed up how she's in the mafia, right? So who knows, right? Maybe he figured out who she is, he wants her, he wants to question her, kidnap her, or who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that it's about 𝗀𝗲's mother, because, well,
Alice.
Well,
you thinking Alice?
I was thinking, and I mean, I saw online as well, a lot of people thinking it could be Poppy's grandma. Which
that I don't see that in any capacity, though.
It's hard to believe just because of how removed she seems to be from the whole thing. And please remind me.
Not just removed from the whole thing, but like if there are camp elders, and that means there are multiple people. Like it didn't seem like she had a lot of people around her.
Also, she lives in
And
Mumbai, you know,
yeah,
like,
she was moved right away from everyone.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
I
she
mean,
took herself out for a while.
maybe the grandmother is sisters or something to 𝗀𝗲's mom,
Could be, yeah.
and they're just related that way.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So probably to be second cousins with Quincy.
Yeah, because I mean, these families they're big. These types of families are huge. You have, you know, first cousins, second cousins, fifth cousin from like someone way over there. Like they're massive, and because they purposefully keep everything within the family. So, and as the family grows, everything else grows. So I think, I don't know, maybe that's my theory.
Maybe Vincent wants Quincy to marry Poppy. Maybe that's why there was that whole love triangle bit in the beginning.
Oh. Like Poppy is some kind of long lost mafia princess.
Yeah. Who knows?
Well, then I sure hope they're not related.
Yeah.
No. Oh, by the way, so my friend who was over, she's a geneticist. So she was telling us, you know how people are like, oh, don't marry your first cousin, right? Because it's not good for genetics. So apparently for Ashkenazi Jews, right, Jews from European Jews, basically we're all genetically fourth cousins anyway, because we're so intermarried, because we only marry Ashkenazi Jews. So she's like, it really honestly makes, in terms of risk, it's like almost no difference if you marry your first cousin or if you marry another Ashkenazi Jew. And even for a Sephardi Jew, like a Middle Eastern Jew, the difference is not, like the genes are still very similar. So yeah.
Really?
Right? Isn't that interesting? She told me the percentages of like the risk factor of genetic issues for any Ashkenazi Jews marrying each other versus marrying your first cousin as an Ashkenazi Jew, and it was like infinitesimal. It was like basically no difference. So
yeah.
But can you not? I mean, I know it's difficult, but people can convert to Judaism, right? Like you can.
Yeah. My husband did.
Someone who would convert, no?
My husband did. You know, he's Dutch, grew up in Sundown,
exactly.
and you know, no Jewish genetics at all, and married me. Yep. Well, a lot of Jews get tested before, do genetic testing before they get married, because, you know, to see if they're both carriers of diseases, because it's so common. But we didn't do the testing, which apparently I should have, because we're both European descent, it's still common enough. But oh well.
Yeah, my friend, I have an Icelandic friend who grew up in Reykjavik, and she said that when you start dating someone, you have to actually really check whether or not you're related to them, because there's like everyone is related to each other in Iceland, because there's just
only the same
so
thing.
few people.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, if you say like you should have gotten tested because you're both of European descent, I mean, basically that means all Europeans have to get checked.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, it's interesting, right? Because there are certain diseases that are like prevalent among, you know, this group and that group. Yeah. So Ashkenazi Jews apparently have more, right? So that's why we all get tested before we get married. But yeah, there probably is still enough overlap. But whatever, we had our kids already, and we're not having more. And if we do have more, I guess we could just get tested before. But whatever. Yeah.
Well, let's return to someone who's potentially running away from their genetics. Perfect segue. Yeah. So they're running away, and I have to say, like, I'm so surprised by how casual their conversation is. Poppy's just like, by the way, I probably won't be talking to you for the rest of my life for saying I'm just some hooker. We're like, Christ, I was trying to save her ass. You can't hold that against me. It's like, you could have said something else, like I'm a friend or a co-worker. And he says, '2'𝗏𝗁𝗀𝗀𝗀.
The thing is, that would never work. Co-worker? Nah.
Right. What does he work at?
Yeah, because like, where else are you working then?
My side job is a grocery clerk.
Yeah, and then basically we cut to Tora's apartment, but they are not in it yet, it seems. The TV is still on though, and there's a breaking news headline that says the leader of the Nine Daggers clan has just been arrested for multiple counts of manslaughter and so I have a lot of questions still, like my main one at the moment is trying to figure out whether or not the threat of Vincent showing up is serious. Because they're running away, but they're also really casual in how they're talking. So,
And then how Vincent was easily distracted by his wife.
yeah. So it's hard to tell, I feel like.
I don't know. Part of it feels like it's like Vincent went over there to maybe see if Tora knew anything about how this leader got arrested, because Tora was supposed to have taken him out, but he didn't.
But was he supposed to take out the leader?
Yes. There were those 4 Nine Daggers leaders he was supposed to take out, but he didn't. He like injured them. What was it? Yeah, he didn't kill them.
He injured them.
Yeah, but I don't remember if it was the leader. I can't remember if it was who it was from the Nine Daggers clan.
Yeah.
I thought it was just 4 like important
36. I'll like go back and check, I guess.
Is it 36?
Yeah, I remember it's funny. In the earlier episodes, I can remember a lot by the actual episode number. Thunk. Yeah, 4 men suspected to be high-ranking members of a dangerous criminal organization. Yeah. So yeah, it just says high-ranking members.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that might have led the police to figure out who the leader is.
Right. Yes.
It could have been. It could have been because it happened that way, and so like yeah.
That's what it says. The broadcast 36 says, for sure we'll be keeping a much more watchful eye on their activities now. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of
Maybe
people were saying
like, maybe it was a really good thing that you didn't kill him.
Right. That's what he said at the end.
No, that's not happening. But still.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he's trying to like say, look, because you didn't kill him, now he's arrested.
Right, which is good for him, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, is it good for Vincent, or is it like?
Oh, because he might
know
spill the
stuff about each other.
Right. Yeah. True. Good point. True. And also, I'm sure Goliath is part of the clan, so I'm sure there's gonna be something about him.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying Goliath is the clan leader, but I think he's just the general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like his disappearance would be a lot bigger, a much bigger issue if he were like someone pretty high up.
Yeah.
Or a leader, because it doesn't seem like his disappearance is really that big of a deal.
I mean,
like they're more focused on this notebook, not necessarily Goliath.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't even know, like, and if Goliath was someone that was pretty high ranking, then I mean, wouldn't he have followers, guys, helping him? But he seems to be doing all of this alone.
True.
His escaping and all that.
I mean, maybe the information in the notebook is also about the Nine Daggers.
Yeah.
So maybe he's actually
someone that just kind of played middleman to a lot of these gangs and collected a lot of information. So he wasn't someone that ever belonged to one singular gang, but just always acted as middle ground.
I mean, it did say that he is the Nine Daggers general, which seems like, yeah, he is.
Oh, what's that?
But it does say that he worked his way up really quickly. Through the ranks really quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I think, I'm not sure if this is true, but I feel like he used to be Balthuman, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't think so, because remember he meets Quincy as a kid and he's like, oh, is that your boss's son? So it seems like he doesn't really know anything about the clan.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happens in between. I'm just vaguely feel like he didn't only betray Tora.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure on this. I'm not 100% sure. I always had the impression as well that he kind of jumps, or like that he was part of many clans, but not at the same time, I think. Because I feel like I remember someone saying that he made a lot of enemies because he betrayed some clowns. But it's also really difficult because during the like multi-month hiatus before season 2 came back, I read a lot of fan fiction. And even though I have reread the main, like the actual story multiple times, sometimes the little details, it's so hard to keep track where you're taking them from.
Yep, totally understood.
So yeah, I'm really curious where we're picking up.
Yeah, I'm excited.
They're running back to his apartment.
I sincerely hope they just get them sleep and like whatever happens the next day, you know, because if we have another episode with this like night, I mean, it's literally just like, how many episodes?
What if they run to Quincy's apartment?
I mean, isn't that too far?
That'll be annoying, but also that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Vincent would know where Quincy lives as well.
Yeah.
I think we'll get at least one more episode of that night.
Yeah.
Like at least kind of including it. I mean, if we go from that headline to the next morning.
Yeah. Well, I have no idea. You know what? I stopped making predictions a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Who knows?
You just can't. You can't with Lily. You can't make predictions because it is always going somewhere you just don't even. You've never even thought about. It never even crossed your mind that that's possible for the next episode. Like Vincent showing up out of nowhere, and then his wife showing up out of nowhere, and then you're like, what? What? They were just about to make out. God damn it.
I mean, that's also why I never started doing like episode analyses for Midnight Poppyland, because I do them for Lore Olympus. It's just because I feel like sometimes it tugs at like my heartstrings too much. Like Midnight Poppyland, sometimes I'm just so affected by it. I'm like, I can't bear to keep thinking about this and think of all the possibilities.
Oh, that's sad.
No, I mean, that's why I like reading people's episode analyses, because they kind of sort my brain for me and I don't have to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm like, thank you. Oh, you picked up on something I didn't. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely excited for all the like new things that we got in this episode to be, picked up on. Mrs. Balthuman and this Nine Dagger thing and why Vincent was there. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Got some action coming up.
I know. I feel a bit better about the episode now that we've talked about it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. No, I'm curious for things to come. I was kind of hoping we would get a little bit more of their relationship building before shit hits the fan.
Well, maybe he'll tell her what's happening.
For it to all kind of collide at the same time, though.
Yeah.
Just because it's how their relation, it's how they met.
Yeah.
Was just all of it colliding.
Yeah.
And so it just seems that makes the most sense. And also the entire story is more or less about two very different people coming together and finding balance within each other and their lives and like having how to fit into each other's lives. So it makes sense that like, because the best, you don't want to just kind of like be all like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. And then you find out, oh my gosh, this person's a gangster. And now he's all of this, and now we got to deal with all of this.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, for sure she should know the truth about him and stuff. But what I mean is like, for the big plot points to move forward, I was kind of hoping we would be, I mean, and they have obviously become so much more comfortable with each other. But I just wanted to be able to like revel in the fluff for a bit longer.
Oh, well. Fluff is nice, but yeah, mafia story.
Hey, it is a romance.
It's true.
Romance mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for next week. That's
I
all.
know. And luckily, since we
Excited.
recorded kind of late in the week, we don't have to wait that long.
Right. Wednesday, Thursday,
That's
Friday.
true.
Exactly. 3 days off. Nice. All right. Well, I'm not going to do a bonus content because it is like super late for you, Sharon. So
Yeah, I'm gonna head to bed.
yes. And I will too, even though I'm way earlier than you.
I also need to figure out what I'm eating for dinner.
Ooh, enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great chatting with y'all, ladies. As always, it's such a pleasure. Love chilling. Great.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. It was always so much fun.
Have a good night. Fun week.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libris, Lily, Jenny, Haley, Molly, Veronica, Emily, 𝗪𝗏𝗱 𝗪𝗲𝗀𝗀 Meg, Anne, Rose, Priya, Alexa, Misty, Laura, Joanne, Patty, 𝗦𝗂𝗧, Esther, I'm Watching You People, Taurus, 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗀, Marie, Jen, Emily, Jean, Jen, Aaron, D, K, Lily, Becca, Stiranda, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, Daniel, Teresa, and Mrs. Castaldo. Your support is truly appreciated.